Today we are learning one of the most important performance concepts in modern web development, static rendering. Till now we created pages, routes, components, props, state, and dynamic lists. But now the question is, when a user opens a page, is that page created at that moment or was it already prepared before the user even visited? This is where static rendering becomes very powerful. Today we will create a simple course listing page in Next.js and understand why pages like landing pages, blogs, documentation pages, and course listing pages are often rendered statically. There are mainly two simple ways to think about rendering. First is static rendering. Let me show you the cursor screen. So there are two ways of rendering. First is static rendering. In static rendering, the page is prepared in advance. So when the user visits the page, the server does not need to rebuild the whole page again and again. For example, a landing page usually has fixed content. A blog article usually does not change every second. A documentation page is mostly same for all users. A course listing page may also remain same until we add or remove courses. So these pages are perfect for static rendering. And the second is dynamic rendering. In dynamic rendering, the page is prepared at request time. For example, a user dashboard, an order history page, a logged in profile page, a payment status page, an admin panel. So these pages depend on who the user is, what they recently did, or what data is changing frequently. So static rendering is powerful when the content is mostly same for everyone. So this line is very important. Static rendering is powerful only when the content is mostly same for everyone. Now let us go through the code on the website. So it is same as the previous day. Two pages are there, home and courses. This is the folder structure: page.tsx, layout.tsx, close.css, paragon.icon, and inside the courses folder there is one page.tsx. So let's edit the courses page.tsx. So this page uses fixed local data and no request time data. So it is suitable for static rendering. So I will write, then I will write the metadata, then the function. Okay. So it is this is courses and course.level. So let me change the courses list a bit. I will add level in these courses. So what happened was we are looping on courses.map and course. So course has a field level, but this level was not defined in this courses array. In each item there was no level earlier. I can show you the code. So there was no level, but after we change the code, then we can see there is a level. So the error has gone away. So here, where the metadata, what is the use of metadata? So that will, it is exporting three things. First is the React component courses page. Then there is a constant variable, constant field metadata, and third is dynamic field for static. So let me save this page.tsx. Now let me update app/page.tsx. I think more or less this page is the same, but let me update it. Now let me update layout.tsx. So inside this layout.tsx, we will be using metadata. Um, just so actually this metadata thing is we are getting it from Next.js from this next package. If you click on this package, then you can read about this. This is a TypeScript file. We need to find its index file. So for that, what is its location? It is in node modules slash next slash index.js. So inside the node modules, I will go to next. And inside that, I can read all its files. So this is .d.ts. TS means TypeScript. So it only tells me about the types, but the main content is in .ts, not .d.ts. In simply .ts. So here you can see server.js is there. Maybe app.js dist slash bit slash pages slash underscore app. So this is the build package. So it is not very good idea to read from this package. Better way is to search for this on the internet and then read about it. So what is being done is this metadata type is being imported from next package, and we are telling that this metadata is of type metadata. Now what happens is this next JS framework. This understand that we are telling the page metadata. So just by defining this export const metadata of type metadata, we are able to set the metadata of the page. So similarly here also we have set the metadata of the page. This constant metadata is enough to identify. Even if you don't set it of type metadata, then also the next framework identifies it. You can verify once on the internet. So let me just update layout.tsx. and finally globals.css. Now this course page is something important we need to notice. This course page is not using use state. It is not using use effect. It is not calling a backend API at request time. It is not checking which user is logged in. It is simply taking a fixed array of courses and rendering cards. That means this page is a strong candidate for static rendering. In real companies, pages like this are very common. A marketing landing page can be static. A blog article can be static. A documentation page can be static. A pricing page can be static unless pricing changes based on user or region. A course listing page can also be static, especially if course data does not change every second. Static pages are powerful because the same prepared page can be served again and again to many users. Next.js documentation describes static generation as generating HTML at build time and reusing it on each request with CDN caching possible. So a landing page is usually created for one clear goal. For example, join a course, download an app. If you see our landing page, this is the course, this is the page. This is the landing page. So it can be for one clear goal. It is created for one clear goal. For example, join a course, download an app, register for a webinar, buy a product, sign up for a newsletter. Most landing page content is same for every visitor. The headline is same, the features are same, the testimonials are same, the call to action is same. So static rendering is perfect for landing pages. A blog post is also a great example. When we publish an article, the content does not change every second. For example, what is Git, what is React, how does Next.js routing work? These articles can be generated statically. This makes them fast, easy to cache, and good for SEO. Documentation pages are also usually static. For example, installation guide, API reference, component usage guide, deployment steps. These pages should load fast because developers quickly search, open, read, copy, and move ahead. If docs are slow, the user experience becomes bad. That is why static rendering is very useful for documentation websites. So let me summarize the static versus dynamic, when to render statically and when to render dynamically. So page is prepared in advance. It is good for the same content for all users and great for landing page, blogging page, docs, and course listings. And for dynamic rendering, it is page is created when the user requests it. Good for personalized or frequently changing data, and it is used for dashboards, profiles, cards, admin panels. So dynamic rendering is useful when the route needs personalized or request time data such as cookies or search parameters. Now there are few mistakes that beginners often make. First mistake is thinking every page needs a backend API. No, if the data is fixed, you can start with a static local data. Second mistake is using use state and use effect everywhere. So no, only use client side state when the page actually needs browser interaction. And third mistake is making everything dynamic. So if a page does not need request time data, static rendering can be simpler and faster. So today we learned that static rendering is not just a Next.js feature, it is a performance mindset. Before building any page, ask this simple question: does this page show mostly the same content to everywhere? If yes, static rendering may be the best choice. Landing pages, blogs, docs, and course listing pages are common examples. In today's task, create your own static rendering course listing page. So create your own static course listing page with at least 6 courses. And add title, description, level, duration, and one button. In the next video, we will deploy our frontend project on Vercel and see how real developers publish websites online.